Good morning, everyone. It is Thursday, December 16th at about 8 a.m. It's a very pleasant 64 degrees out here. There's no breeze. The sun is coming up. I can even have my bald head out here without my hoodie because it feels wonderful today. The last couple days for me, I really noticed I was feeling really run down and tired and sleepy. And I think it had to do a little bit with the colder weather was making me in just, I want to curl up in a ball and hibernate mode. I always, when the seasons are changing, I always have a couple weeks where I get really run down and tired. And I think that's what was going on this last week. I really noticed yesterday when I was editing my video, for one, it was really short, but I messed up my words a whole bunch of times. I wasn't awake all the way. It didn't sound right to me. I got really good sleep last night and the sun is out today, so that's helping with my energy levels. I think the temperature fluctuations, the temperature dropping the last couple days, supposedly that really initiates sleep when your body has to conserve its heat and it puts you in kind of a hibernation mode. Also, when it's cold, I notice I don't want to be outside as long, and I think the lack of physical activity outdoors kind of gets me feeling off a little bit tired. And then there's the food cravings. I definitely, when it cools off, it makes me crave heavy comfort carb foods, and I know that makes me run down and exhausted. So I don't know if this happens to other people, but I really try to stay in tune with my body, in tune with how I'm feeling, in tune with my energy levels. You hear me talk about that all the time. This last week, it really, I hit the wall as far as activity levels went. I even missed an extra gym day. So let me know if that happens to you when the seasons start changing. Sometimes it'll even happen in the springtime, but I think that's when it starts to warm up and I'm outdoors more and more. I think that's when I just literally exhaust myself to where I need rest. But the fall one, the winter one, I think it's just the weather cooling off, and like a bear, I just want to go hibernate. Not that type of bear, just like a actual bear. I'm getting this morning started with a good amount of high energy. I'm Lee. Welcome to my day. So some of you may be asking, I know especially my family and friends that live in the Pacific Northwest, Lee, are you really that affected by the weather? Yes, I absolutely am. I feel like I have always been very affected by the weather. Where I grew up in Yakima, Washington, they had all 4 seasons. We had hot summers, dry summers. We had wet, cold winters with actual snow. We had a true spring with mud and rain. And we had a fall with actual changing leaves and cold temperatures. So I think growing up in that made me really in tune with all 4 seasons. So living in Florida, you pretty much have summer year round, but it does cool off. We get kind of, I guess it's like a false winter where the weather actually cools down to 30 degrees sometimes. It's pretty rare, but it does. So when it does that, and it does it suddenly, and we go from 80 degrees, 85 degrees and sunny to 40 degrees overnight, it does actually affect me. And like I said, I try to stay very in tune with my body, with how my energy levels are, with how I feel. So it does affect me. Murdoc has been dropped off. I'm heading out to the Riverwalk for my morning walk. It's about 9:45. It has warmed up to 70 degrees, but it's a little bit overcast now, and it got a little bit breezy. It feels great out here though. Back on the topic of growing up with all 4 seasons in Eastern Washington State, there are things I miss about it. Florida, it's just summer year round. It's hot. Our little false winter only lasts for like a month or 2. I do love that nowadays. When I was a kid, summers in Washington State were absolutely wonderful because you spend all year somewhat cold. Springtime, it warms up a little bit and is pleasant. And then summers, you have an extra long day every day. The sun just stays out till 9 p.m. So plus that with being on summer break, it was just like all the good adventuring outdoors time you could handle. Summer barbecues were also great. Everyone's neighborhood smelled like barbecue, which I don't eat a lot of meat, but that was definitely one of the cooler things in the summer. You got to float the Ellensburg Canyon, which was super good. 4th of July's were always good. And then you had fall, a true fall where all the leaves on the trees were actually changing color and falling off. It was always very pleasant and very nice. There was also all the apple wood from the apple orchards being burned, people's brush piles being burned. Sounds like a gross thing, but the smell is very nostalgic for me. And growing up, you could always tell it was like back to school season by them burning brush piles and leaves and things like that. It was really neat. Also, when I was a little kid, I would try to earn side money by going and raking people's lawns. So they'd pay me like $5 to rake a giant pile of leaves up for them. In the winter in Yakima, we actually got snow, which it's always fun at first. You get to go sledding, you get to be outdoors in it. I would also make money shoveling people's driveways for like $5 or $2, very cheap. That was always really fun. And a lot of times we actually got to have a white Christmas, which is rare for a lot of people. I do have some nostalgia for that. It was great. Springtimes in Eastern Washington were never anything very special. It was just kind of a little wetter, little muddier time of year. But then when summer came back around and you were off school for the year, again, that was the best time. I guess that's why I live in Florida now. I always loved summer. It's my favorite season. I made it to the far end of the Riverwalk. I'm all the way down at Tarpon Point. I've got to get turned around and get my butt to work. It's just about 5 o'clock. I've been at work for a few hours now. It has been dead in there today. I'm gonna wrap up my last bit of filming for the day and put this video together for y'all. Overall vibes of the day, it has been a good day. I got a good walk in. I talked about some stuff on camera, put my thoughts out there in the universe. I'm excited about that. It did get all cloudy and kind of gross out, but it's Florida. It's warm. It feels decent out here. That's all I've got for you today. Until next time, have a good one.